Hello. Um, so I have like 18 different album concepts that have been rotting and or forgotten in the back of my head for the last 18 billion years. So I figured I'd make a little compilation of me going through all my assorted digital notebooks, because I don't have my physical ones with me, unfortunately, and doing them, so that they're like out there and in one place and easier to find, and I don't have to worry about them like getting deleted forever. So, without any further ado, I'm hopping right into my Evernote account, which I haven't opened in 10 years. One second, I've got a Facebook message. All right, didn't require a response. Okay, I guess this one's at the top because I edited it. Oh, woe is me. I find that. Wait, no. Oh, woe is me. I find that most of the time, throat, lungs, and knees designed with broken in mind, croak easily. The times are hoping to cry, go. Wait and see. Sunrise is choking the night. Grow. Twisted trees. The vines are soaking and ripe through. Crippling. Though, not through. Gosh. Though crippling demise looms over your life. Bone, maggots, fleas, dull knife, composed kryptonite. Ta-da! That's that. Messed up. Doesn't matter. On to the next one. This is one that's ingrained deep in my memory. I want to include it on a future album, but you know, the concept of the future album is shifting sands. Ships sail on the blue sea. They search for the reasons. And I, little siren, whine as they pass. They only hear sweetness. One day a fine fellow yelled down from the deck, sing more, fill me with your nectar. I got 'em wet. When language becomes meaningless, steam seizing us, believing that the difference is night and day. Pray to sweet angels, step back and reframe, imagining a simple string of text is everything impossible. Repetition turns sour, the salty salvation of ocean and past. When a wave on a beach sandy heart holds fast, I do believe I've seen everything. I do believe moth wings on a pedestal, prickly pear masquerading as an apple, and this asshole acts like he knows everything when he just knows how to sing. Pluck strings, ships sail on the blue sea. They search for the reasons, and I, little siren, whine as they pass. They only hear sweetness. One day a fine fellow yelled down from the deck, sing more, fill me with your nectar. I stole his breath. A block of cheese on a spring, mangling the galleons that pass, acting if their mass hold the strength of a stallion, in fact, to feel like a trap set forth by your nature, to know all the patterns a sailor's savior is avoiding Bermuda. Aroma ideology. Many men die when dismissed as mythology. The gears all click with the binary trigger. The end of the end is both thinking bigger or broken, perhaps, by the teeth and the claws of a lure. Hook line caught by the lure. Ships sail on the blue sea. They search for the reasons. And I, little siren, whine as they pass. They only hear sweetness. One day a fine fellow yelled down from the deck, sing more, fill me with your nectar. I broke his neck. Lovely. Okay, next one. This is also one that is a lot closer to my memory than some of these other ones. If the apple doesn't fall very far from the tree, then the sprout that it births will be desperate for the beams that its own parent withholds with its branches and its leaves. So let's all be apples, but be excited and be free. Curiosity, a trait that I hold dear. Innocence, another that I'd like to keep near. As I walk into the forest all alone and filled with fear, at the time of life where no progenitor is near, and it appears that I may be doing just fine, lost though I may be. I'm learning, and I shot above the canopy. And here's another fact that's awesome. With my friends' roots that blended, then my branches blossomed. All people have two parts for you to meet. One the forest tree, the other boat at sea, and they seem to intertwine arbitrarily, but every blend's a treat, squeezed human smoothie. If the charts and calculations that were made upon the beach fall apart out on the ocean, do not hold their weight at sea, then the course must be rewritten by the captain of the dinghy. Yes, I'll plan for mistakes, but can I take my teddy with me? It can be shifty. When waves made by distant boats cause you disadvantage, harder time to stay afloat, especially when the whole ocean just seems to be a moat, and a harmless drawbridge makes you feel like a joke, but broken shipwreck shores and rocks and torrid tides are a reason to press forward, not a one to run and hide. So rise up, my fellow tugboats, it is great to be alive. Let us brave this flowing ocean with high fives and open eyes. All people have two parts for you to meet. One the boat at sea, the other forest tree, and they seem to intertwine arbitrarily, but every blend's a treat, squeezed human smoothie. Now there's a place along the shore where the forest meets the sea and the waves upon the... No. There's a place along the coast where the forest meets the sea, and the waves along the beach are the fuel that feeds the trees, and the trees then grow fruit, and the fruit falls in the sea, so they both feed each other in a cycle endlessly. Now the forest has its... No. The forest has its roots, and the oceans has its depths, and fish and birds and things unheard like secrets that they've kept. But regardless of our origins, or rather lack thereof, there's something more important that we share, and that's called love. It grows within the forest and it swims within the sea. There's a little bit in you and there's a little bit of me. And you may think that there are 7 or 6, 5, 4, or 3, but all people have two parts for you to meet. There's that one. Shout out to June. I only wrote half of it, so I had to pull the rest of it out of my memory. That's why I made mistakes at the end. Anyway, here's another one that I can recite from memory. Shout out to the Cogswell crew. Artificial light seeps through to my skin, steeps bruise and begins to ferment in. God watches on from the used toy bin, a mere 25 cents to repent all your sins. Slim, trim, and proper, media betrayed. Proctor flip-flops, crack rocks to make the sheep line the block up. 1/4 of $1 for beer, booze, and gin. That's another 25 to let the light back in. I spit fire from my lips so it aches and pains. I suck sulfur from my heart, let it fuel my brain. And I refrain from letting demon taking over, even though the planets are aligned to let their sleeper cell upflow with over. I had to dodge here with the 4-leaf clover, taken from their inventory, little bit of luck, and though they could have saved it until hell had frozen over, they went and spent it on a fuck. Shucks, the pedestal hurts just as much as the muck in the ditch. Tongue folk pulled to a lick, the crystals trickle up vertebrae like a pinch. Permafrost people safer when sandwiched, but when every hand you shake raises high. Certified drilled down expectations in your mind, every breath feels base. A waste in the face, the echoing the stain you imagine in its place. Like great, every river that I've ever bridged is heaving under forces real or imagined, and I'm not quite sure which one takes the cake, but I'm rattled even after all precautions that I've taken. If my building's faulty or my thoughts are illusory, do not be mistaken, this is nothing that is new to me. I'll ask y'all to cut the fucking tomfoolery. He don't know me very well, do he? Ruminating, melancholy, trigger twisting, simple switch, eeny, meeny, miny, moeing, self-perpetuating shit. If he lifts his self-inflicted curse from his synaptics, maybe then he'll be able to focus on his magics. Bastion, imagine, in fact, tacked on. Chances of latching a hand to attack young, great in the making, a mate for the length of their life. Damon brain in the right, like, he doesn't like you. Stop trying to ask him whether or not there's a smidgen of passion, you're passive. No one's gonna have it, you half of a whole heap of trash. Tragic. Well, okay, brain, now I'm feeling kinda grim. Need something to make me feel full to the brim. Coin slot on my chest, feeling kinda slim. So here's another 25, let the light back in. Like, you don't know me. Nobody knows me. I'm too closed off. I'm a fortress. I'm lonely. You can't learn me. Nobody can. I'm too secretive. Undiscovered I land. Lovely. All right. Next one. Sit down and listen, a tale will be spun of people and places and things that they've done. The world is on fire, the water has won. The people with sparks, it all lit up the place, but no one could breathe all the smoke in their face that came from the dream of the top to the race. That was the fuel that they burned, imagining virtue they'd earn, yes they'd earn, but all the while cast away, wheels did turn. That was the fuel that they burned, The fire and virtue, a means to an end, fueled by desire, basic and human, so eager to overlook consequences. Infernos devour all things in their path, regardless of whether good-natured, good meaning or bad, they grow at expense of the tools that they had. That was the fuel that they burned, imagining virtue they'd earn, yes they'd earn, but all the while cast away, wheels did turn. That was the fuel that they burned, Water flows over the earth made of ash, drowning out embers and clearing a path. The gears are all turning, there's no going back. We remember fuel that was wasted and seared as an example through all of our years. Remember the fires, remember the tears. So run away lucid, my listening ear, with eyes open wide to the images here. Discover new meaning and riddle it clear, for paper in nature are fires and fears. I think that I am a pretty good rapper when there's nobody around. A sweet sound floats by like Lucy in the sky, with diamonds and tigers and bears, oh my. But that yellow brick road takes me to a safer place, far away from outer space, so I am Lucy on the ground now. And I'm wondering how the town found out that I'm pariah, a liar, a thief, and a scandal. Still trying to get a handle on those stolen goods, taken from the goody goods and given to the poor. This is different than what I remember. To endorse a sister's tin cup, recovering for several months, bruised up with a gun to her butt, like back the hell up before I shoot you. And I'm resolute to, once in a blue moon, attacked by a rude dude, and then she flew away, violent and sanguine, not like Lucy in the sky, but more like March of the Penguins, venom seep into her soul, bite marks on the fang skin. And the strangest thing was that she thanked him, and it sank in, astounded. I can try and fly away, but I am grounded. I can only wonder why, and I'm dumbfounded, rebounding thoughts and processes off the walls, floor and door, circa the eyewitness disavow and the guilty court order. Set up he was, he flied or tried and cried a bit. The lies abide too true, he felt he died inside, but what lives on the murder eyes? He dropped the soap, gratuitous spies, and through the night he dreamt of clearer skies, and Lucy, and Oz, and greener grass and redemption, but alas he felt the bitter sting. The caged bird can't fly, and he sure as hell won't sing. Ooh, that was a little intense, potentially problematic. This one's an idea for a video game where everything that happens in the game is fixed to the time of and the beats of the song that's playing in the background. If you lose, you go back to the beginning, but if you're like, if you're in rhythm heaven, the game goes on, the song progresses on, and you feel hella dope because like everything that's being described is what's happening in the game, and you're like winning. I never finished this, so anyway. She's a criminal extract, subliminal toe tap in a rhythmical pattern, snake in a mind map topology. She'll backstab without so much as an apology. On different occasions, she's a professor of cosmology, but now she broke through the glass, and now there's no looking back. We all think she'll go splat, but there's a magical staff that she pulls from her hat as she is bound for the ground, and with a magical spell, now she's safe and she's sound. Now she must battle the crowns that manifest the sound as she is skating around. A left click will take them down. And that's all I wrote. Lots of potential. However, I need a friend that knows how to do programming for that to ever come into existence. Can't make that in Bitsy. Row your boat down that consciousness stream, sucker. Row, row. Life is but a dream, but it feels so slow-mo. I'm sick and tired of waiting. I just want to get a froyo, GoPro, or achieve my dreams pro bono. But the clock goes, oh no. You need it free, bromo. Get your ass back in line or your cutting self can go home. Give the dog a bone throw. It's June. I can't go slow. Enough to make it to December before I explode. Frickin' ho-ho. Miracles and snow globes. Shaking up a life mid-year like a lone foam. Vibrating every muscle. Hustle, hustle. Shaking up an ivory like a bone. Catacomb. Tripping into bushes. Damn thistle. Thussle. Say anyway. Black eye broke bro. Horseplay every day. What a violent tussle. Muscles acidic. It's different and it's cray-cray. Uncle. He wrestles like a monk. Lethargy funk. I can't comprehend, so I lock up in the top bunk browsing hunks and magazines. Not me. They do not produce publications my eyes find easy. It's copacetic, most of its frame negative, which repels magnetic cause. I'm a B demon C3PO box, -1 terrorist, wordplay, whoops, that's -1 making sense. I defend it, give recompense when I relay words that my brain soaks wet. It's definitely best to remain unimpressed when I sprout saturated shit that my mind thinks electric, that encourages the simplest pattern of self-perpetuating plant demons in our garden. Venus flytrap matters grow out of our hands, but we're starting to fight back. Ingenious plans. Wow, that was pretty good. I enjoyed that. Got a little zany. Let's talk about the middle gray, a subject few can rant and rave, mix the dusk and ivory paint while pastors pray the gay away. And they say they see piano keys and zebra fleas. Reality is actually chords hammered from concrete. Ever heard a pebble scream? Buildings built on evergreens. Anguished yelps from nature's belt akin to just the type of these. Hard-headed, stubborn men infected with horrific zen. Crack craniums and wish their skulls are filled with amethyst. But penned within this crystalline ache, a friendly message gave from take. Bullish bitches bonk and bruise, but bona fide tacticians rake. A steady key straight to the pavement. Keyboard hammer, truth and patience. Carving David into skulls just to say that Sisyphus had went and made it. His ears let's ponder truthfully. Sculpt from years and days and weeks. Eternity of sweat and blood to reach a part plateau of peace. But weighing on the hands of law. The ebb and flow of parasites. Scraping against the basic raw human need to feel right. Lost pennies in a land their own, amount to riches left unlocked, partial flawed by buzzard beaks and rest to rot out overnight. Where really does this nightmare stop when people plunk down to their knees, a fuzzy a fuzzy and discordant line acting as a boundary. Children see in black and white, and if let to by society, remain a child all throughout and on beyond the 53. Let's trailblaze into the gray, claiming land just like the mergers ancestors that define the lines that dark and light can take today. Microbial tactician snitch works its way between the stitch, corrupting fuzzy patchwork into checkerboard without a hitch. Let's stitch the reverse time-lapsed oil silver war, recreate that middle gray for the south can stray away. And if a certain stranger happenstance knocks upon our door, we'll play piano peacefully, the black and white tonalities safe from organisms' reach. We tune our gray thoughts mindlessly. Jesus, fuck, that's good. Why did I not commit that to memory? Damn. Okay. The magician open eyes, are you ready for the surprise of your life? All inside the theater of my mind. Burns villages with a glance and raised hands. Trample over the silk strands of wheat and rice fields. Chants that every grain a canvas for art, and every brain is a wonderful start. And the target for my art of deception, fueled through recollection. Redemption is a powerful weapon, although the heart ready and embark millennia spark hysteria. That's definitely unfinished, but it's good. Recycled bits form new magnets that I attach to my brain, flip-flap benign angling, fish and trip, wishing for some birds uncaged, dinghy boat in the Loch Ness faucet each day, hook onto a winged tip like hook line sick. That's 10 bonus points award, high score list. Hide a dodge straight rep and sore right fist. It's a snore fest, searching for an old bright test. Cheat sheet weekend, this student is the best, written on the lips of the PhD in studentry. Civil war fostering humble versus cocky things. Avian wings decomposed to buzzing calamari. Knowing dings like a lucking note to self. Safari and under the ocean are we, pinging on the radar. Upcycled mechanics, thunder smoked winged quasar. North and south end electronic paper. Bored mouth tends to bust repeated phrase or resilient mind plus an unoccupied lip equals people in planes diving into the riptide sleepless dreams and lines cycled on the re. William S. Burroughs inspired finding new meaning. That's a little tough rhythmically, but it's ill af. That last one and this upcoming one are both from a concept album where I recycle a bunch of lines from things I've previously wrote, I think. None of this exists. It's all in my brain. Once upon a time there was a skull, and as the freezing season set in, its old bones began to dull. Frost settles in the cracks that its pilings could not duplicate. And although it's clear I will outlast, should I be forgiving reprobates? Is that master action when my plastered face could replicate? Hide a dodge here, question ethics over dinner plate. I myself am a monster birthed, raised, and fostered by waxy wings. Stripped yellow, black, frivolous things. Is my sweet tooth something I should be questioning? Or should I go unspoken, automotive smoke and ichor wings, broken glass, crystal knot, nocturne, cranial, blank space. Okay. Slightly problematic. Interesting, but I probably shouldn't be appropriating other people's struggles to sound good in rap lyrics. Wow, this one is literally 3 lines. You are what you eat, said the boy who ate the media. It's meaty, huh? Tasting like a TV brunch with a little bony crunch like, oh shit, you ate them, bruh. I need to finish that. This kid is queerer than a The kid is queerer than a parallelogram inner tube, politely declining any other type of interview. But now he's here for us, and so he's here for you, fondly recollecting all the different types of interlude. He grew up in Sunday mornings, chewing through his Scooby-Doo, weekly news attitude, and new pangs of regret resulting unaccepted views, brooding Brooding Imhotep in a period of blue, he chews loosely, better to think than do. Food in a world of ones and zeros, he identifies a two, a pause, done. Jiro tried the truth, besides the youth drew a blank when it thought that it had grew a thought garden. Dropped the weapon, my young Spartan, jostled intersecting thoughts, but it blocks the top, often smirking weakly. He takes a jealous look beneath, thinking maybe he'd prefer to be a drop in the sea. Maybe he'd prefer to be a you or a me, an average human, squandering gifts casually. Caught up in the day-to-day work and fantasy, succumbing to the numbing hand of an aristocracy, he casts his gaze aside, sighing all brief, admittedly dismissing all the thoughts of relief, and picks up his work again. Oh, Father, help! The kid next door's such a weirdo. Is he going to hell? Just save him, please release his brainless vacancy. Exorcise the demons dwelling in his cranial cavity. I think he's an angry social fringe anarchist chap, maddened by his own petrifying normalcy lack. He snaps fast, so bring your knucks and a bat, I'll be your lackey. You can bring the pain back. We lined his flat, made him flatline and snap. There will be no demon-worshipping kiddos here, Dad, that's a fact. We showed him the haps, broke his back, heart, and other assorted attacks, bruised black. How could anyone choose that? He grew silent. And now us looking back, he changed the day he agreed to take an interview pass. Whoa. That's heavy. Brackets, whip, Oedipus, parentheses, trying to be Aesop. It walks on four legs in the morning. Happiness is a fact. Blank space, hyphen, blank space. And you know, Oedipus lives within us all, yo. I know because the truth is hard to follow, and life can be absurd at times, realizations hard to swallow, but we've got to carry on despite the fact our vision's hollow. 2 legs in the afternoon, and 3 in the evening. Beasting. That's incredibly unfinished. A strange skeleton. Alright, we're back to something I have memorized. Oh, wait. Nope. So this is a verse and a chorus, and somewhere in one of my notebooks, digital or otherwise, there's a follow-up verse and chorus. However, they're not here. So enjoy the first half, and if at any point in time we come across the second half, I'll do it over and we can enjoy that. Fertile blossom blooms, furor, the sun shines down upon a Galapagos mirror. The shore here grows and recedes, not because of the tides, but the rotation of these. Glass bubbles, book ended by earth, if tipped violently, then the brittle bubble bursts, pop. Powdery chaos flotsam, the ice water stings, but the light shows awesome as the memory fades. The days are spent mourning, pouring and raining, the dead man snoring, nullified theories and frigid freezing wings. Up above the island the small finch sings songs of the thighs that cradled the flower. I'm sure the sand will be equal in about a half an hour. Words echo on paper that we've attached to our fragile skin, and as the evening progresses, they grow black with the ink of our actions. That's that. Zero, my hero, hides his shades of blue from people as he walks around the town and leaps abounds abundant brio. He don't take no shit, but his attitude ain't evil. Try to break him apart and he'll convert you to a zero. Now Zero is a goodie, but he gets a little lonely. If devisers are himself, who is he but everybody? His meaning undefined and his interactions feckless, like an impotent ghost with a desire to be reckless, craves the touch of another, be it positive or negative, but incapable of changing things. He waits for when fat lady sings or pigs to fly. Day to day he lives his life and wonders why. That's from an eventual math rap album. And I don't have it as the next thing in my list, but I will from memory recite to you another song from the math rap album. Excuse me. I conduct 2 times 2 in the safety of my own home, closet mathematician, just looking for a gold throne on which to sit, for their genius is unlimited, just looking for somebody to appreciate and witness it, unless the rigid upper lip doesn't let them loose. The things that they have thought, like the little red caboose, trailing in the rear and derailing locomotion of the chain of thought they had once piloted and spoken, choking, trying to find a reason why they suddenly need other people to convey their mind. They try to sign for help, but they're caught up in a tangent cause. Most people have these sides, they only have their algebra. Maybe they'll wisen up, leave their domicile, think of things besides the calculations for a while, but who's to say that they'll ever find themselves of use in a cold social world in which they do not compute? Lovely. All right. I already did this one. Why is it in here twice? For which words do not exist. Let's talk about the middle gray as subject, fugue, and rant and wave. Wave. Hello. Starbucks rap. Oh my lord. Alright. This is some dorky shit. This is some Young Money crew type clown rap. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna do it. How do I even start this? Why did I write this? Fuck. This bitch is a frigid bum honky. Mermaid wishes piss? Are you frickin' trying to rob me? 99 cents for a shit and drop of coffee? Please. Highway robbery. Lead knees / freezing on the sidewalk. Jeez. This we all know as a 230 feeling. Slow motion bros toward chemicals seeping into eager mouths. They go... Sleepless heathens, weekends free drinking liver liquid from a crystal quiver, pissing frequently, warm hello to your eating dinner. Wish for anything that'll be stopping intake wimpy liquor, but we don't need your coffin when offering viscous conscious quitters. Aw, little shout out to Aesop. That was kind of good, but also embarrassing. Let's not mention it. Speaking of embarrassing, this one's titled Senjutsu, which is the title that I gave to my singed rune page in League of Legends. 8/16/2013. Wow, who was I? Plural, one love, who could it be? Chemist angry, done his fair share of smoking, trail blazing through the jungle like one up token. Some say he is broken, others claim he's too easy. Me, I just believe I'm the best NA, see me. You cannot, 'cause I don't run through this stream, please. Been living in the forest raised by wolves in the Rocky 3. Freely gingerbread running like slow instead and is a stale joke. Kale poke whoops lacking tenacity. Guess it's me, Halen. Icicles caught like a slow poke. Freeze. Wow. Alright, I guess we're just in the embarrassing section because this one's titled Gay Dudes and Robot. I don't remember what the lyrics are, but I remember that it reads like 2 characters in a play. Wait a second, who dropped the soap? Huh, I don't know, boss. We're also missing a picnic basket, and someone stepped in our moss. Wait, was it you? Who do you think you are? Wasn't me. Then who? Well, your hand's in the honey jar. You think you're gonna winnie this argument? I think you'll be the loser. I'm not so sure about that. Let us act the computer. You are indeed a loser. Well, shit. Ha, see, I'm on top. It's me that's not guilty. We'll see. I've got versatility in many things, one of which reasoning ability. Lord Health Mercy. Alright. Oh no, this is This is the Young Money verse that's embarrassing. It wasn't the coffee when it's this one. Jesus Christ. Okay. Alright. Here we go. Making brains go pop. Bubble wrap. That's my finger, then I stop. Edging fap. My cash is more youth than some of these fools. Sitting on their microphone like I think they might be confused. Take a look at my lips. Streaming consciousness. Thinking, oh shit, I'm on par with their releases. Tell me, is that a weakness? Freaking the sheet. Jesus. I was a ghost for Halloween. Now can I make your free list creepin'? I'm logging off. Lettuce soldiers wielding toothpick swords, sesame, open up, hello Tom and Patty. Motto is happiness, citation, yellow paint desirous, red pigment to boot. Tastes great, Erie eats BLD, 12 and 2 over 7. Welcome to heaven, double hockey sticks July 11th. For what it's worth today, I need to say this in a status update. Shake and bacon bits to no reward form hypothesis. Fragments. A shot of conditioning, pull back at the strings, repeat, wash and rinse slang with the Rudy Chris mattress screen, cinematics channeling, Wanda seeking dreams, Sandman, Brady tactic, bathing in some movie magic, weeks and eves ass tragic, bob and weave, bumblebee, steam, lacking, wrapped in fabric, matter of fact, cocoon, bulging middle booms, looking at the past didactic, as its riddled lips dance and twist over little bits of the dankest dish in an attempt to make brain as hazy as environment. No witness present, so it sits rockin' lazy, oink oink, repeated inhalation sips of its greasy burger joint. That's a really clever one. A little fat phobic, which is why I probably didn't commit it to memory. Me and the problematic raps. Thanks to you and you again. Thanks to her and thanks to him. Thanks so much, give economy. Now go and break the thanking bake. Now go and break the thanking bank. Now thanks is just a word, my friend. Time can make it twist and bend. Signs of change societally. Words merge to be the things we see. But who is we? Human children. External mass and solipsism. Now go and give them thanky thanks. Now go and dance the hanky pank. Puppet strangs hash slinger. And strangle man's yellow dinner. Winner, winner, mattress screen, raising children channeling, aimless thanks to boys and men and girls and grannies, and again, we make a day to pray our thanks. The children don't know what to say, whisked away, so thank tradition, brittle stitches in the quilt and fray break with logic, reason, frigid ways of winter season. A little binary, but good. Departure from Ahuu. Welcome to the melting pot. We serve fondue, and occasionally on Wednesdays, we serve mines too. Additionally, it has a sauna function blue, red and white bits in our Friday's stew. Give me the sacred A to Z, let me choose the BCD, that's departure from Ahuu. 1, 2, 3, 4 O's, ha. Funny, that's the number of the wall I just bulldozed. Best to write in the moment 'cause you're right on the moment, correct. Best to write in the moment 'cause you're right in the moment, correct. Just take a left where the two paths intersect. Hawaii, why do you do this dia? Roll a snake eyes right on your first trial. Try a serpentine duck and dive questions like an orange dream. String a thought and float like a butterfree. One is pink. Someone's got a scarf reference, gotta differentiate a gray-faced brethren. Wait, seconds pass, oddity double trouble, bypass gastric. Each one thinks the other's mind is magic. Gosh. If you're listening, that one is a love letter song that I wrote to my boy Kahu. All right. Next one, The Wilderness. This one is referencing the packaging of the Uncluded CD. Gosh. All right. Brief story time. I bought the Uncluded CD. If you haven't been able to tell by now, I stan Aesop. And literally everyone he collabs with. It's all so good. I love you. So anyway, I have this CD, and I really like it. And I put the CD in a box, which I put in my parents' garage as storage when I go away to college. And I come back to find that there's a leak in the roof, and literally all of my Pokemon cards are moldy. And I weep spiritually. Not literally. Anyways, the packaging for the Uncluded CD has a little like comic called How to Catch a Frog for Life, parentheses psychologically. And I'm a frog captured psychologically for life. By Aesop Rock. Anyways. Hello friends, I got trapped in a plastic jar. Maybe it was glass, but I strayed too far. Got caught with a hokey fright out in the wilderness. Now I'm sitting here like, what next? Plot twist. Set to run free as my captors released. Set me back to the bush with the brown berries. But now I'm feeling little twitch of the Stockholm. That jar was the only home to my syndrome. Forced to follow as they go to retreat. Failing to even stay in earshot on my four-webbed feet. Wow, that's depressing, but really good, but sad. Here's the next one. It's called December. So here I am, just a child, sitting on a Santa's lap. He reached out with meaty paws, speaks, "What is it you desire?" "Well, my genie dear, I don't really have a wish, so I guess if that's okay, I'll go sleep in this Christmas day." Guitar Circle 1. Trying to put to words these thoughts that I foster. Just a couple birds from a kid with bad posture. Friends call him prophet, but they call themselves a monster. Sorry, I'm having to edit pronouns on the fly. Just another brought from the mind of the proctor, doctor in their title line, PhD in studentry. Thinks that they are hot shit worthless simultaneously, trying to be something that could be called a success, wandering through their life, acting like they know what's best, tested on the daily, running towards the end, crazy-brained youth just looking for a friend. And when I say friend, I mean emotio-spiritual, equal-faceted on the multi and seeking a collaborative stream of consciousness-oriented environment. But like, haha, let's keep it simple. This kid Jodidiah is society's pimple. I love myself. Eyes flutter open versus buttermilk bread. It's the day that's begun and it's the toast in your head. Take a few steps with your right, then your left, and arrive in a place where your mind feels best. Autopilot flights fly through the festivities. Grandfather clock gong 6 to the 7th sea. Are you having fun? Because if flies are here, you've got to be. But then if that is true, then you are gone for all eternity. Like, let's play a game called Push This Red Button once every 10 seconds for the rest of all time. Every 360 presses, if you haven't turned around, then you have earned yourself another shiny 80 dimes. Eyes flutter open too. A bowl of milky raisin bran, your coffee in the one, and a gun in the other hand. Don't need no walkie-talkies because we've listened to Camus. It's really quite simple. You're supposed to drink the coffee, fool. Then we can again, step 1, step 2, shambling through the day until our cheeks turn blue. At the end of the week, we just rinse and repeat till we get a fat check and our hair turns green. Like, let's play a game called Count the Magic Beans that are up from the trough when she wins the slot machine. You only get to count, you do not get to keep, so you'll get 7 sets of 80 dimes at the end of a week. That's a good one. It's about minimum wage. there's a reference to the installation art where you turn a crank and the machine outputs pennies at the rate of minimum wage. It's also an Aesop Rock reference. I can't say the word coffee without throwing in 3 lines referencing the song Coffee, apparently. Also, some senior year English class philosophy, Albert Camus, my bitch. This one's called Plague. It's a sickness from which you'll never feel quite the same, and it spreads like a virulent plague, and sure feel better, and sure you'll feel better, but you'll how does this work? And sure feel better, but you'll never feel the way that you did before the virus came. Brackets, filthy dubstep and vocal cutting. Wow. Aw. This is... Gosh, I forget the event. I think it was my cousin's graduation, but I wrote this song about my experience. It might not be of... No. Anyway, here it is. Listen here, locomotive, lyric, lymphatic, lice, and lobster lots loose from linguistic fishing pots. Hello, little Lindsay Lou, letters launched from lofty tubes, titillated, ticklish types, and truth for tealing toodaloos, agitated travel owners, audio acts loud alone, twists and turns and lizard licks, ostentation scissor kicks, tracks that levitate attack, learned twins do cantillate, and though their laughter does retract, lenticulation brings it back, the tonal tides leave the shore, at which they laced and laughed and tracked the bees that buzz throughout their heads to signal memories of past. That's a really good one. I'll do it again slowly. I'll do it again slower because I probably botched a lot of words. Listen here, locomotive, lyric, lymphatic, lice, and lobster lots loose from linguistic fishing pots. Hello, little Lindsay Lou, letters launched from lofty tubes. Titillated, ticklish types and truthful tearing toodaloos. Agitated travel tone as audio acts loud alone. Twists and turns and lizard licks. Ostentatious scissor kicks. Tracks that levitate attack. Learned twins do cantillate. And though their laughter does retract, lenticulation brings it back. The tonal tides leave the shore at which they lazed and laughed and tracked the bees that buzzed throughout their heads to signal memories of past. Lovely. All right, that's the end of my Evernote Raps and Poetry album. Let's not do that phone. Let's do this phone. This is my old phone. The screen cracked and the camera cracked. So it's really just an M3. Yeah. Memo. This might take a little while. Because not all of these are raps, so I'm going to be scrolling through a lot of random entries. Bad Mojo, Space Brains Must Die, Zazzle, Honey Hive Gallery. It's probably some note to self stuff, but it sounds like a poem. This one's called I Want to Be Like You, and it's 16 seconds. Let's make sure I've got my volume on.
I wanna be like you. I wanna be just like you, even though we've never met. Do you think that we'd be friends?
That's cool. I remember that. That was gonna be for a song about idolizing people through the internet. I have a speech that I wrote. What the hell? Hello, everybody. If you aren't already aware, I'm Jodediah Holmes, president of Cogswell's Game Development Club. I've prepared a speech for you all today about games and conversations. The goal of this speech is to hopefully open you up to a new perspective about games and enable you to think about the games that you play and the games that you create. So I'm going to talk about a couple of concepts that I picked up in communication courses. I'm going to start with the modern model of communication, then move on to a concept called environment, and then finally speak about active listening. The modern model of communication states that in every communication, there are a certain number of elements that are always present. There's always going to be noise or an atmospheric force that disrupts messages. There's always going to be two communicators who encode and decode messages to send at the same time. Of course, there's always going to be a message, and those messages travel along channels. Essentially, there are two communicators who both send and receive messages at the same time. As an example, even though it seems like I'm monologuing up here, all of you and I are both sending messages to each other at the same time. I'm sending my body language, eye contact, and the actual words that I'm saying, and you're sending me body language, maybe claps at the end of this, and eye contact, or not, in return. It may not seem like you're saying anything, but your eye contact and body language can tell me a lot. It can tell me if I'm being too loud or too quiet, if I just said something offensive, if you understand what I'm saying, whether or not you agree with what I'm saying, and a bunch of other things that you wouldn't expect to be communicated by so simple and automatic of a thing. This model of communication can also be applied to video games. Think about the game developer and the game player as the two communicators within the modern communication model. The player receives what the developer is saying at the same time as telling the developer what they'd like to do. The developer can tell the player what is and isn't possible within the game system and also receives the player's inputs. Really interesting to think of games in this sense because the developer isn't actively on the other side of your game. If you think about it, this makes games a type of extra-dimensional photograph. The game system that you're playing is a snapshot of the developer's state of mind. Every graphic, sound effect, rule, and occurrence are all things consciously placed by the developer in order to communicate a message to you. This is what the game world is and how it works. Similarly, every time you play a game, you're giving the game a snapshot of your state of mind in that moment. Every action you take reflects your thoughts and your feelings. This is the next concept of communication that I'd like to cover, her environment. I probably typed this using my voice and text to speech, or speech to text, so whatever. Going into a communication, environment is something that both communicators come in with. It could be something as simple as your mood that day, or the context that you've developed over your week, or an opinion that you formed over the course of your entire life. Each communicator's environment shapes what they bring into a communication, how they react to what's given to them within the communication, and what they take out of the communication. The final concept I'd like to touch on is the concept of active listening. There's a difference between hearing and listening. If you learn about if there's no periods here, like punctuation is so valuable. There is a difference between hearing and listening, period. You learn if you take a communications class, and that is if you're hearing, then words are simply passing into your ear. Lord. But if you're listening, then you're attending to what the other person is saying. You're spending brain power to process their words and understand what they're talking about and where they're coming from. Again, when applied to games, this can go both ways. As a player, you can be paying attention to what the developer is trying to say to you, the message they're trying to convey, or you can just play enjoying the gameplay. I think that was definitely written with speech to text because I have vivid memories coming back to me of having to say the word comma to make my phone insert a comma and say the word period to make it insert a period. Ridiculous. Oh, speech part 2. Play through the game absent-mindedly, enjoying the gameplay, but ignoring the metaphors or statements. On the other side, a game can listen well to your inputs, or they could be pretty unresponsive. I'm sure we all play a game where it feels like the game isn't listening to what we're trying to say. And when I say that we can talk to a game, I'm specifically referencing the actions that we can make. Everything that the game allows you to do within the game world is another word that the game has given to your vocabulary as a player. You speak with your movements, or you're dating, or you're jumping, or you're taunting, or you're ducking. And when you think of games as conversations, in addition to mapping what games are onto what conversations are, you can also math what conversations are onto what map what conversations are onto what games are. Think of some different conversations that you've had with people. Some can be brief, with neither person really paying attention to what the other is saying. Others can be long and intimate and intellectually or emotionally happy. Some can be loud and violent. Some require one person to do most of the talking while the other does most of the listening. Wow, it's 4:18 p.m. Some are an equal playing field where both people argue out of. You can think all of these different types of conversations that can happen between two people. Wow, there's no punctuation. Well. Sorry for just stopping in the middle of the speech for those of you who are invested in that. But, that text was inaccessible. Anyway, this looks like a rap. It came from pale wizard hands, yes, this blessed bandwidth, growing slowly into homes to show the sleeping masses how intrinsically asses, half-full glasses bound to overflow with the ichor of the classist. Now mass detached, we observe a bow gracefully between two nodes in a hedge maze of A to B. Says node A, hey B, you swayed me. Says B, hey stranger, or say stranger, please leave me in peace. A phenomenon where connection seems to have ceased as prerequisite for emotional release, a funny finding, considering connection is the single thing that masculine magician pitched his product as even being. Now intermission. Our sponsors want to state that they want to be your friend 'cause you're great. Chorus. A public voice toys with my emotions, image and soul on display, just a drop in the ocean, portrayed as a wave, a play of my own motions. I've been eroded, seeking to speak with the north wind. I grow pale, only howled at by the gale, expecting great exchanges. I feel I've been betrayed, and I wail at the wind. Why do you treat me this way? And she moved cold that bit, and she blew me away. And to this day, sometimes I really want to say, I wanted to be a friend, so why'd you push me away? Chorus. The internet connects consumers to creators. Also a social form. Are you entitled to go thank her? When someone you've never met can make you cry with their great words, don't you feel strange to never know who they were? Reciprocation plays games on your tongues. Maybe they should know about you, someone who felt more human by the plume of their pen. Fan mail piled high, and with a sigh their day begins again. Chorus. A public voice toys with my emotions, image and soul on display, just a drop in the ocean, betrayed as a wave by play of my own motions. I've been eroded, seeking to speak with the north wind. I grow pale, only howled at by the gale, expecting great exchanges. I feel I've been betrayed, and I wail at the wind. Why do you treat me this way? And she moved cold that bit, and she blew me away, and to this day, sometimes I really want to say, I wanted to be your friend, so why'd you push me away? It came from pale wizard hands, yes, this blessed bandwidth, growing slowly into homes to show the sleeping masses how intrinsically asses, half-full glasses, bound to overflow with the ichor of the classist. Now mass attached, we observe a bow gracefully between two nodes in a hedge maze of A to B. Says node A, hey B, you swayed me. Says B, say stranger, please leave me in peace. A phenomenon where connection seems to have ceased as prerequisite for emotional release. A funny finding, considering connection is the single thing that masculine position mixed as product is even being. Now intermission, our sponsors want to state that they want to be your friend because you're great. Good shit. I like that. And after a long day's battle, they removed their armor. A Game by You by Fox and Jode. This game, like many games, about the greatest battles that changed the world. You will get to control a character and surmount a tremendous emotional journey. There will be a reward at the end. Unlike many games, though, this game is played by communicating. Before we begin, however, are you playing among other people, or are you playing alone? That was a good game. I wish it didn't get deleted by the internet. In this game, you will remove your armor. This game is played in 3 phases. In the first phase, you will watch someone else remove their armor. In the second phase, you will remove your armor yourself. And the third phase will be explained when you're ready to progress to it. Really important. Crappy animation. Casual conversation on tongue as vitamin. What does that mean? APHXDLT, aphid lit, and he cried into my shoulder times 13. A game I made about the games I've made. 3 lines of poetry to wine. Symbols and consent. Trigger warning, I am manic, I will talk fast, therefore this talk will be inherently ableist. All caps. No action made upon genuine ignorance should result in the actor feeling guilt, externally bestowed guilt or otherwise. You are good is problematic, parentheses, reference dad college, experiment with, and colon, fucking follow your fucking dreams. You can be anything. Neuroplasticity. P.S. Playing with food is a game. I love myself. Fertile blossom blooms. All right. So I think this is a second verse that I tried but didn't like, because this is definitely not the one that I remember as being good. So I'll start from the chorus and then flow into whatever this is. Our words echo on paper that we've attached to our fragile skin, and as the evening progresses, it grows black with the ink of our actions. Great. Standing at the edge of calculation, I look into the lake of which had sparked my ideation, sensations dripping from my mouth like masturbation, creations and fearings. I took a little sip from the Jekyll serum. Please know that that's a metaphor. I'm reeling. Please understand this isn't normal for me. I am not normal to you. This isn't fuck normal. I'm normal. This can be normal. If this is done with N-words, I can now do it with normal. I am normal. I am normal. I am normal. Fucking please agree I'm normal. ... In asterisks, DJ audience cue. Our words echo on paper. ... Our actions check. Legs check. Hips check, ballpoint on the canvas of a list check, breath check, eyes check, heart mess, a robotic diagnosis of a being of flesh, but when sterile lockness shoots appear. And then there's nothing more after that. That was written in February 6th, 2015. For context, excuse me. February is the month after I got released from the hospital, so that explains the weirdness. Teddy short story, also in a book called Maybe or Not, 9 short stories by J.D. Salinger. A perfect day for a banana fish. Very powerful. Brace yourself for terrible idea. Not on a small scale, but on a very important scale. The number of people you teach does not matter. Tibetan group temple throat singing. Miyazaki, Whisper of the Heart. That's all there is in that note. Little violin. There once was a little spider who, upon an idle whim, decided to try and learn to play the violin. With a handful... Go away, keyboard. With a handful of some webbing and a straight and sturdy thing, there began to be, as you can see, a violin-y type of twig. One pluck did make a breakage, 2 plucks made a mess, and 3 and 4 and many more until the reb turned red. How dare you break my sisters, my clear and lovely friends? You wish to play the violin, but who does meet their end? The spider hurt their feelings with imagined webby speech. That's the end of that. That's a short children's book idea / rap / something. Very good. I like it. Temporarily assume misdiagnosed. Damage? ? Long-term ? Chemical dependence ? Me ? Game : Islandeer. Island. Game opens on coconut tree with pie timer on it. At the end of a timer, a coconut falls. A wave comes on the beach every approximately 30 seconds. Pick up a unit of water with touch. Dig with touch. Pick up / throw coconut with touch. Plant coconut with dig plus place plus bury plus water times 2. Press and hold on minimap to switch from side view micro mode to top view macro mode. Macro mode : pan camera by holding and moving, zoom with pinch, tap and hold still to open a menu. Menu options: harvest coconuts, plant coconut here, parentheses requires water, river to pond here, swampland here, parentheses benefits trees, spawns frogs and shit, Venus flytrap here, parentheses eats nearby swamp spawn, eats excess coconuts, provides fruit, harvest fruit, plant fruit here, parentheses random fruit tree, or fertilizer. Frogs and stuff are NPCs, parentheses are enemies, in RPG mode. Fruit is food in RPG mode. Trees are hospitals in RPG mode. Fruit trees are restaurants in RPG mode. Venus flytraps are monsters in RPG mode. Crown a coconut and give it a name to enter RPG mode and play as that coconut. In RPG mode, you can get new resources from other islands, health potions, weapons, armor, textiles, and art in exchange for fruit, water, slain opponents, parentheses for science, and coconuts, parentheses for labor. Talk to Twinbeard about this. Endgame, fully zoomed out. Your economy, parentheses by design, is by far strongest in coconuts. You trade group of island nations to group of island nations as empires. You trade coconuts to acquire the goods you need to sustain your inflating economy. But you can only grow coconuts so fast. The more you have, the more variable cost you have to deal with. You can get as rich as you want, but eventually the coconut as a commodity is inflated and near worthless. For an excessive coconut cost, you can reach the credits screen. Credits roll over the initial image of one singular coconut tree, perhaps with a video of player playing the game on top. Coconuts are humans. You have learned about business. You have learned about humanity. You have learned about their interactions. Woo! Damn. Good shit. Here's a note titled GDC Vault. Rich_Lem, period. Alexei. Sean Alexander Allen. Jim Crawford likes the coconut idea. Work with Victor on it. Amazing. Stranger Parade 01. Freedom is scary. Restraint is necessary. Do we prefer our own hands or those of our friends? Is the clock a cage? Is the birdie enraged? Sing above all, let the wings fade. And I made ways, linking dark to cliff face, carving out a cave from stiff abrasion days when if crazed was my name, amen. blame the scape just another grape in the drain then. Hey, layman, how do you do? Two socks locked in a box of who's who, pick a raisin. Any babe portrays raise weight. Great white seedless can climb, get your shit straight. It's all too late. Right on time, pour another half full up of wine, but spare us H and ache, live life later. Can't listen to the vine from the incinerator. Freedom is scary, restraint is necessary. Do we prefer our own hands or those of our friends? Is the clock a cage? Is the birdie enraged? Sing above all, let the wings fade. Days and days, thinking the same. All will be well if it goes into play, but hey, lately, Cerberus touch, splitting hairs into atoms like it's paint on a brush, like I can just wake up, fake it and then leave, sipping from a chalice with procedural ease, but lifting any crayons needs a relative team, and who am I to ask for favor from the friendliest tree? I'm just me, we, drops in C. Let me be the football if you play for a team, and maybe greener greens, othered grass, sided lawns, come with a side of snow peas, deferred dreams, and candied prawns. Maybe soon inside this little room hiding, waiting for a number, validation, and some silence. Maybe soon inside this little bird cage, later outside fuels a tune of whistled rage. Freedom is scary, restraint is necessary. Do we prefer our own hands or those of our friends? Is the clock a cage? Is the birdie enraged? Sing above all, let the wings fade. Stranger Parade 01. Whew. Alright, so I'm gonna lyrics genius this song for you. Because I'm feeling a certain type of way. So the chorus, freedom is scary, restraint is necessary. Do we prefer our own hands or those of our friends? Is the clock a cage? Is the birdie enraged? Sing above all, let the wings fade. Really good. First off, this is directly referencing January 2015, late January, early February. I got hospitalized. I thought I had bipolar disorder. I was making a bunch of terrifying, like 3,000 tweets in one night. Facebook posts that freaked out my family so much that they drive down an hour and a half to pick me up from college, to drive an hour and a half to take me to the emergency room, where they gave me my neon battery acid blanket, which is supposed to visually indicate that you've got mental health issues. Vivid memories of being in a hospital bed, one of the ones that like angle up, looking out of a glass wall. There's a security guard that's, assigned to watch over me, and I'm having fun playing a game. I'm trying to get eye contact. I'm trying to talk without words through this glass wall. I pissed one of the security guards off, and another one rotated in, who learned my game pretty quick and refused to make eye contact with me for the rest of the night. From there, I got taken an hour and a half in an ambulance back down to near where my college was, put in a mental hospital where I was told I only had to be there for 3 days, but I was in there longer because I asked around, and it turns out that if you leave before you have a doctor's blessing, your health insurance won't pay for it, which is fucked up. So, there were a lot of glass walls in the mental hospital. I made a lot of good friends, and I wrote down their contact info in a notebook, which I lost for several years before finding it and crying tears of joy. I haven't reached out to any of them yet. I'm not sure if they'd remember me, but I hold them dear in my heart. Shout out to Lieutenant Permanente, my boy. I hope you're doing well. I know the chances of you hearing this are incredibly slim, but I still have the orange sleeve with the eye holes cut out. I still have my cape. I still have my socks with holes worn in the ankles because I walked too much. I miss you all. Such a traumatic experience, though. Such a traumatic experience. One of the later lines in this piece, and who am I to ask a favor from the friendliest tree? I'm just me, we just me, drops in the sea. Let me be the football if you play for a team. There was this group in college. We met once a week. We rotated who was in charge of bringing in dinner for everybody. It was a bunch of college students, mostly seniors except for me. I was a wee bab. And a psychiatrist, someone who works in brain stuff, counselor, whatever the word is. And I came up with a phrase there, because they were the first people that I told, hey, I think I'm manic, maybe. And the counselor was like, okay, well, that's an emergency, kind of. Stop that, maybe. I don't know. I forget what she said exactly. The important thing to remember is that that was the night that I coined, I am football, we are team, which is a phrase that represents the fact that I had completely given up my agency. I'm manic AF, enjoying the hell out of life. Like, what the hell's gonna happen next? I'll let other people throw me around like a football. I'm on the current of time and space. Let's see where this takes me. All experiences are beautiful. And that night I promised that I would go to sleep not last. That I'd go to bed at the same time as my roommates, but I fucking didn't. I was up until the sun rose, and I don't think I slept that night. That was the night that I made like 3,000 tweets in one sitting. That's the origin of my tic-tac-toe metaphor, which is to say, also ties in, I have an art piece buried deep within my Tumblr, Jodadiah Dot, called The Meaning of, and the color red in that piece represents the same thing as the tic-tac-toe metaphor, which is kind of like infinity, chaos. There's more information in this world that you can ever hope to learn in 10 billion lifetimes, you know? Like, the expanse of it all. And kind of like this connotation of mania, like, there's so much, and like fear of missing out, etc. Playing tic-tac-toe with someone else is to engage in a context of patience, which is very the color red, very tic-tac-toe. It's playing tic-tac-toe is playing a meta game where the actual game that you're playing requires very little thought process, but overall requires very little thought process. Oh, but the meta game is you're waiting for your opponent to give up, right? Like, you tie in tic-tac-toe literally every single time unless you make a mistake on purpose. So the whole metaphor about the color red, about playing tic-tac-toe, which I don't even reference in this song, but it's tied into my entire suite of metaphors from 2015. So I'm telling it to you anyway. Is like repeating a behavior It kind of plays into that shitty, banal platitude, you know. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. But it's like literally that. Like you're playing tic-tac-toe expecting that at some point one of you is going to break and there's going to be a loser and a winner, you know? Oh, we tied. Let's play plus 2 out of 3. Oh, we tied. Let's play best 5 out of 7. On and on ad infinitum until someone's like, I'm tired of this like patina of whatever the hell you're doing. I'm going to lose on purpose. That's tic-tac-toe. That's the metaphor. That's the color red. That's infinity. Boom, shakalaka. Let me put this phone down. While I'm lyrics geniusing 2015 metaphors, if you've listened to my secret albums, Rusty Bottle or Shattered Bottle, there's a lot of glass bowl, glass fish, space fish, space imagery, sky imagery, earth imagery, water imagery. The tugboat plays into this. Lone rowboat at sea plays into this. Also tangentially related to Cyclops B on the blossoming tree on the hill where the tugboats roam. But glass bowl, glass fish originates from the mental hospital. There's nothing but glass walls. You can see people on like clipboards like breaking eye contact when you look at them and like taking notes about your situation, relaying it to doctors, whatever. Glass fish comes from space fish, which as visual metaphor, fishbowl helmet astronaut, cute kid like, never going to work, you die in space, as a metaphor for mania, going too high, depression, going too low. I got diagnosed with bipolar 1 disorder, so I'm like, haha, binarism is cool. Let's do metaphors. So underwater is suffering from depression, and space is suffering from mania. There's anchors, which is sea terminology, but it keeps you down from space. There's balloons, which is space imagery, but it keeps you up from underwater. There's the earth. Glass fish is related to space fish, the manic character. The glass fish feels fragile, feels seen, glass bowl, glass fish. Actually, while I'm on this whole tangent, let me just play for you on my other phone, sound recorder, pre-recorded sounds, Mania Rap Anger Album, all caps.
You ever feel like eating's a chore, like you're going too fast, like you're more, like a little glass fish in the moments before you're dropped in a glass bowl for the world to behold? Synapses blasting at a mile a minute, feeling a little wild, got my mind on the kitchen. Got my mind on the kitchen, been awake for 3 hours, but my status condition is that I'm simply too wound up to go and cut the ignition.
Oops.
Synapses firing at a mile a minute, feeling a little wild, got my mind on the kitchen, been awake for 3 hours, but my status condition is that I'm simply too wound up to go and cut the ignition. That is hot shit.
Yeah, it
right
is.
There, let me tell you.
Hot shit.
You ever feel like eating's a chore? Like you're going a little fast? Like you're more?
Like a little glass fish in the moments before?
Like a little glass fish in the moments before you're dropped in a glass bowl for the world to behold?
Good shit. I think at this point I start to try and freestyle additional lyrics, so there's a lot of like gaps.
Gosh.
There's a lot of thinking.
Usually I stick to my pond, keep my fins in my lane, try to remain docile for the strings that I'm playing. But I think it's freaking time to depart from the chain. It's an album called Anger. The emotion I...
Sorry for leaving you hanging. I'm literally
I want
responding.
a synonym for like banished, excommunicated.
Facebook messages. Wow.
It's not coming.
Past me is having fun.
You ever feel like eating's a chore? Like you're going too
fast, like you're more.
Like a little glass fish in the moments before? You're trapped in a glass bowl for the world to behold?
I love myself.
I'm telling you.
Synapses blasting at a mile a minute.
Friendly and I'm sweet. I'm far from a monster, but every now and then...
Okay, this is boring. Wow, there's 6 more minutes. I'm sure there's something good in there. I'll dig it up for you, don't worry. And it will be released as a song in the distant future, don't worry. Back to my other phone that actually has words written down. Oh, I was lyric geniusing this one. And I made ways linking dark days to cliff face. I forged a path, likening struggle to insurmountable cliff, carving out a cave from a stiff abrasion, making a place for myself to exist, where there previously wasn't one, with a lot of elbow grease. Days when, if crazed, was my name, amen. Blame the scape, just another grape in the drain then. I don't know, that just sounds cool. I bet there's meaning in there somewhere, but... Hey, layman, how do you do? 2 socks locked in a box of who's who. Pick a raisin. Any babe portrays Ray's weight. Great white seedless, a reference to the grape from earlier, can climb, get your shit straight. Oh, grapevines climb. There's imagery, there's meaning, it's somewhere. I'm not going to dig it up right now. It's all too late, right on time. Self-contradiction, wow, that's really smart. Pour another half full up of wine, glass half full reference, but spare us H and ache. Looks like headache when you write it out. Live life later. Can't listen to the vine from the Incinerator. Incinerator is a brand of garbage disposal that was in the house that I grew up in, which probably is torn down by now. Fuck gentrification. Days and days, thinking the same, all will be well if it goes into play. What's it? But hey, lately, Cerberus touch, splitting hairs into atoms like it's paint on a brush. That's a reference to the red, to the infinity. You're taking a subject, breaking it down into more granular pieces, and there's like knowledge there. There's interesting shit, but it's like so specific that you're splitting atoms, you're splitting hairs. Not good. And I say Cerberus touch, but I'm probably trying to invoke Hydra, where you cut off one thing and 2 more things grow, as the redness, tic-tac-toe-ness of the lyric. Splitting hairs into atoms like it's paint on a brush, like I can just wake up, fake it and leave. Reference to the mental hospital, pretend like I'm normal and depart. Sipping from a chalice with procedural ease, reference to 2015 metaphor suite that I didn't cover earlier. Sipping from a chalice procedural ease is a reference to Dogbot. I was super manic, and I'm like, whoa, all of humanity can be broken down either into dogs or into robots. Dogs being an organic thing that you can train, robots being a mechanical thing that you can program. And it was this big, weird, like, manipulation theory stint I was on. I scared my roommate at the time with this imagery. Sorry, Fox. I was a big weirdo. I'm glad we're cool now. I'm sorry I scarred you. I'm sure you're sorry that your response to my scarring scarred me. It's just how it happens. It's the cycle of abuse. All we can do is forgive and love each other. Sipping from a chalice with procedural ease. I'm a robot. But lifting any canyons, reference to the cliff face from earlier, needs a relative team. And who am I to ask a favor from the friendliest tree? If you remember my song Squeezed Human Smoothie. All people have two parts for you to meet. One the forest tree, the other boat at sea. Trees, the forest, metaphor for close-knit growing up community long-term stuff. Boats at sea, reference to navigating the void, running into sparse signs of human life and or civilization. Sipping from a chalice with procedural ease, but lifting any canyons needs a relative team. And who am I to ask for a favor from the friendliest tree? I'm just me. We just me. Drops in the sea. Let me be the football if you play for a team. And maybe greener greens, othered grass, sided lawns. References to the grass is greener on the other side phrase. Come with a side of snow peas. Deferred dreams, candied prawns. Reference to what happens to a dream deferred. Does it burst? Something candy. Oh, syrupy sweet. Maybe soon inside this little room hiding, waiting for a number, validation, and some silence. Reference to like the ticket spitter outer. Now serving number 59 of like Kaiser Permanente type shit. Waiting for number validation and some silence. Maybe soon inside this little bird cage. Later outside fuels a tune of whistled rage. References to how sweet does the cage bird sing type phrase. Also like I forget where I saw it, but like Stockholm Syndrome type imagery of bird in a cage. You open the door, and the bird stays in the cage because the bird only knows the cage. Anything outside is traumatic. Which actually leads back into the chorus. I'm a fucking genius. Freedom is scary. I don't want to leave the bird cage. Restraint is necessary. I'm manic AF. Do we prefer our own hands? Am I going to restrain myself? Or those of our friends? Am I going to be the football to the team and let people take me to the mental hospital? Is the clock a cage? Am I a time bomb? Is the birdie enraged? Am I mad that I'm outside the glass walls? I don't know what that line's about. That feels kind of weird. Sing above all. Don't let your voice be silenced. Let the wings fade. Kind of feels like the lights dimming and the curtain closing over a play. Beautiful ending. I like that a lot. That's going on a future album about 2015. A whole bunch of you know how in mobile games some of them reward you if you like share your high score with social media, but when you press the share button, it gives you an option to share to your notebook. I just scrolled past like 10, like, your Mola Mola evolved to a young man's. 109, new top score on hashtag Crossy Road. Ridiculous. Don't sport it if you don't like it. Go horse row and row boats like a dream's life, and I lean right then swipe left, be reps of beam of pure light, and grind and scene, endure frights and grease lightning typed pangs of love interpreted as grudges held closer than a glove to a hand, but inverted of that, batches of misreadings latched to as if to the truth and proceeding to bring them down, beginning to believe, then tune out the world as sun greets the evening. What are the words? And though I've tried what the people said, I can't seem to shake this part of my brain that tells me it's always raining. And all right, I'm caught in a milky haze, these days that I live, beginning to swim in foggy conditions. And though I've tried what the people said, I can't seem to shake this part of my brain that tells me it's always raining. And next verse, unwritten. I'ma try to whip out a sick flow just like a cock slap on the table like a footloose burrito. Here's the deal. Jodidiah hot when they talk for real. Kids got linguistics that are wet with appeal. And the flow goes just like a river shiver. Slip a toe in, going for a little dipper. Counting stars in the sky like, that's me, that's me, that's me. Rapping dictionary like that's B, that's A, that's B, that's C. And I'ma just be me, weird as fuck mental illness that comes out my work like the brush hits the canvas unavoidable Kirks, with a lurking bit of madness, burning thirst to be first in the raddest, and it's magic, cut from a patchwork fabric, little bit of genderqueer, little bit of faggot, would rather suck a dick than do more mathematics, like kill people, burn shit, fucking be stylish. Heartwarming, problematic. I'ma take a deep dive into the shallow end, crack a skull, Jodidiah here like a magical bitch. I'm anime as fuck, I've got luck on this. I've got the big eyes and the flashing white glasses like, heh. Amazing. Where's the next rap? Nope, that's not a rap, that's a game script. Hotplanetweets.jpg. I just scored 9,825, my highest ever score in threes. Ooh, there's more to this. When do I start? Come on, buddy. Wait, is this just a metronome for me to rap it out? Oh my lord, I love myself. Glass bowl, glass fish, a dish served with rice, a wish on a star on a night that's alright, a cage in a zoo on a traveler's list, a laughable twist, glass bowl, glass fish. I came to be at the dawn of time. I swam through hoops as I evolved through brine, sprout legs, landed upon a beach that sweet, scout eggs, looking for a bite to eat, and I yawned and stretched as the sun set upon my life. The hourglass winks at the camera. Glass bowl, glass fish. Wink, wink, flash, flash goes the tourist groove. They move like the sea, I know it raised me. Grab an entrepreneur and a souvenir. Secure a bourgeois, my mind is out here. And I sit, and I wait. Tapping at the glass looking for someone who understands any morsel of Morse. A lone rowboat tugs a tugboat friend. Whoa. Hi, Nick.
Hi, Jode.
How's it going?
Good. How's it going with you?
Pretty good. Welcome home.
Thank you. Why was the door unlocked?
It was unlocked?
Yeah.
Oops. I went out for a walk and I guess I never lied.
Okay. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm happy to be home.
Yeah.
Ready to eat dinner and go to bed.
I got a package!
Yeah, you did.
Hell yeah. Thanks, Grandma.
Who?
Grandma?
Oh, Grandma.
Yeah. Let's eat, Grandma. Ooh.
I don't even know what I thought I heard.
It's like that sometimes. There's bubble wrap. Wow, this is cool AF. I'm excited to read this.
It's a book? It's not like a journal.
This is an accompanying artwork my grandma told me about. Meow Wolf, which is a massive art installation in like the middle of nowhere where rent's cheap enough that they were able to just rent a warehouse and make a bunch of art out of it.
Cool.
Yeah. I got a little bit of the story from my grandma, but I think this is like exposition. I'm excited.
Love some good exercise.
There's a postcard inside, I think. Maybe not. Oh, it's so good!
Your grandmother sounds badass as fuck.
My grandmother is badass as fuck. Wow. Okay.
Postcard? What did you say?
Oh, it wasn't actually a postcard. It's
Oh.
like an advertisement for...
Oh.
Is it a... For over 110 years, the National Abudan Society has been working to protect birds and the places they need, today and tomorrow. Wait, it's a card it opens up. I thought it was a thing. I thought it was just a postcard. Amazing. Greetings, Jodidiah. When we... Gosh, I can't read cursive.
Need a hand?
Sure. When we were...
Greetings, Jodidiah. When we were at Meow Wolf, found this book in the gift shop. It's supposed to be the story of the family who disappeared into netherworlds. I thought you might find it interesting, love, Grandma.
Wow. Thanks, Grandma. This is my bookmark also now. Mwah.
With good reason. I'm glad to see that I haven't lost cursive reading.
Reading cursive, a trainable skill.
Well, I mean, it's a lost art. Like, I think my generation is the last generation that was even taught it in school.
I was taught it in school. I promptly forgot it because it's like not accessible. Kind of like smarmy.
Well, cursive is great because you can write super quick without lifting up the pen.
Fair.
But in the day and age of computers, you don't need it.
Fair. You came in at a good time, I think.
Oh.
I may have been in the middle of something. I can't remember. But I decided to, that I'd sit down today and, record ASMR bubble wrap. I've been going through my notebooks. I have one on evernote.com. I had one on my old phone. I've got a little bit on my new phone. Kind of just like...
I'm listening, I promise.
You look like you're in heaven.
Pretty darn close. But you were saying notebooks?
Oh, yeah. For the past, I don't know. Has it been 2 hours? It's been a while. I've just been reading all the raps that I've written. And there's a lot of them that like I've completely forgot about, but that are really good. I'm probably gonna like cut this off and catch up on the rest later because I gotta make dinner early tonight. But it was fun. Had a good time. Also, us smooching is on camera. I don't know if you're okay with that being like uploaded to YouTube or not.
Yeah.
For sure.
Why wouldn't I be?
I don't know. I mean, good to ask consent for other people's image.
Yeah. Like when I asked, when we were at the thing, and I'm like, because the lesbian couple was at the other end of the anchor.
Oh, yeah.
Like they were at the other end of the link in Raleigh.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, pictures needed. Rainbow holding down.
The queers are on top of the world. Nobody can stop us.
Pretty much an accurate statement.
Before I shut down, do you want to hear one?
Sure.
I'll find one that I don't have memorized. Some of this stuff. Oh wow. 2016 in the month number 4. Oh, here's a good one. All right. Hello, microphone. Whoa. There once was a city in the desert in the sand, 5 hours from the sand of the beach, where the hand of the ocean slapped against the sand of the shore. Light bulb overhead, young entrepreneur. I'll get some of that. I'll bring it back here. I'll rinse and repeat, given months, given years. I'll have a fat stack of those currency spheres. I'll be loved and revered by the people out here. So she left for the sea with a bucket each hand, had a plan to collect that liquid grand. Didn't know that her plot would transmute and expand to a nightmare grasp on the throat of the land. I got some of that. I brought it back here, and I rinsed and repeated for a month and a year in this monstrous heat. I concocted a sphere. I remodeled this land with my sweat and my tears. The least you could do be to bow when I'm near, to respect what I've done, to love and revere. Who do you think you are? Said a young man who'd had it up to here of her speaking so grand. Any one of us could have toiled in that heat, and you're acting like you need us to be kissing those feet. Who do you think you are? Who do you think we be? No one owns the ocean. No one owns the sea. That's a song about capitalism. Good stuff.